This is the Mets series recap brought to you by Mets Rant. All right, so the Mets played a 3-game series against the Giants, taking 2 out of 3. This series was a very strong showing for the Mets overall, but there were some concerns. Obviously, we can talk about injuries some more. Obviously, Jeurys Familia has some sort of blood clot, and that is going to dampen the Mets for a little bit. So the Mets took the first 2 games in pretty dominant fashion. Walk-off win by Walker and a pretty offensive blow in the second game, and just kind of a disappointment in the last. So the pitcher of the series, I'm going to give it to Zack Wheeler. He had a very dominant performance, had an offense to back him up as well. And it was just a very good performance for him overall, so I'm definitely going to give him the crown. The MVP of the series, I'm going to give to Neil Walker. He hit that walk-off win. He's brought his average up significantly, up to 216. Game one was kind of an interesting one. The Giants, DeGrom gave up a 2-run homer to Pence, and it was going to look like a typical Mets game. We climbed back from a rough start from DeGrom, but he ended up throwing pretty good 6 innings. And then game 2, the offense just exploded off the dominant performance of Zack Wheeler, only giving up 1 earned run in that 6-1 victory. Game 3, much different. Pretty good start overall. The offense was pretty dry at the end, but you really have to pin it on the bullpen. And I'm not saying the bullpen, I'm saying the bullpen lost the game, and we can agree on that. So the bullpen's kind of been an up and down thing. They've been very dominant and very bad at certain instances. The bullpen's getting overworked. And it's not to say blame one person or one staff or whatever, but there's definitely some concern. So first, our starters are definitely not going deep enough into games, and that's part the pitching staff, but the pitchers they really aren't being effective with their pitches. They're getting into deep counts when they really shouldn't be. Now, it is the normal in the MLB to go 6 innings, but really, you want to go 7. You want to only have to use probably two relief pitchers in a game, maybe a third to like a lefty, every once in a while. I don't know who to blame necessarily, because Terry Collins is a good manager in my opinion. I'm not going to say great. What are you going to do if you're Terry Collins? I mean, you have a starter that's only going to throw 5 to 6 innings. You want to get every out effectively and use the best guy to get that out. And Familia's injury is not going to help. Familia has some sort of blood clot in his shoulder, I think. We don't know how long he's going to be out. We're going to find out probably tomorrow or over the weekend at some point. But really, the improvements that need to be made taken out of the series, bullpen management needs to get better. We need to make sure these relievers get rest, and they definitely cannot throw 90 outings in a season. Starters need to go longer. They need to go at least 7 innings. We just can't keep abusing the bullpen. It's not going to work. And reinforcements need to come soon. Some positives to take away from this series. The offense looks red hot. Starting pitching overall looks better. They're not giving up 7-8 runs. And Cespedes will be back in about a week and a half at this point, which is also very good news, as you can get another hot bat in the lineup, hopefully. Looking ahead, the Brewers, very good team, about running around 500. They have Eric Thames, who's swinging a very hot bat. I think we need to take 2 out of 3 at least. I'd like a sweep, but it's going to be hard to do against a pretty hot lineup. Harvey needs to have a good outing. Doesn't need to be 2013 Harvey, because I think those days are long gone, but he needs to be that 3rd or 4th, position of the rotation. Just going to give you a solid outing. He needs to go 7. If he hasn't pitched in 10 days, he should have a little bit more stamina, I think at least, and he should be able to go a little bit longer. I think we saw that from Wheeler as well. That is the Mets series recap brought to you by Mets Rant. Make sure you guys like the video and comment down if you have any questions. The next episode of this series will be immediately after the Brewers series, followed by the next day of the Mets weekly review, episode 2. And make sure you guys subscribe, and thank you guys, and let's go Mets!